Jeff Hardy's arrest was referenced on AEW Dynamite last night, and a new champion has been crowned in All Elite Wrestling. But first, is a major AEW injury worse than we first thought? Bryan Danielson has been out of action for over a month now, with him being forced to pull out of a match against Zack Sabre Jr. at the Forbidden Door due to what is believed to be concussion issues sustained during the Anarchy in the Arena match at Double or Nothing. Whilst he was first expected to miss just 1 to 2 weeks of television, he is still yet to receive clearance to wrestle. This week, Dave Meltzer would discuss the matter on Wrestling Observer Radio, noting that he is concerned about the American Dragon's health due to his history with head injuries, and Meltzer would say, "I'm very concerned with Danielson because when you have the number of concussions he's had, and he's been out for over 5 weeks, you start worrying at 5 weeks of a concussion, this may be a real bad situation. I know in real life and everything, like, he's fine, he can function, he can do everything, but as far as being cleared to wrestle, I don't know anything. No one knows. Getting cleared from a concussion can be any time. There's no time frame, but the fact that it's been this long is very concerning." Bryan would of course retire from wrestling in 2015 before finally being cleared to wrestle again in 2018 after years of recovery. Whilst there is a concern that history will repeat itself, Danielson himself was insistent that he won't be stepping away from the ring, this during the announcement that he was out of the Forbidden Door event. Hopefully his prolonged absence is a precaution and isn't a sign of another long-term hiatus. And next, 3 title matches have been announced for ROH Death Before Dishonor. On July 23rd, Ring of Honor will present their second pay-per-view of the Tony Khan era in what will be their 19th event of the same name. During last night's episode of AEW Dynamite, it was revealed that the ROH Pure Championship will be on the line as 2 AEW hot prospects battle it out in singles action, with Wheeler Yuta set to defend against Daniel Garcia. Yuta has been the Pure Champion since Supercard of Honor in April, where he ended Josh Woods' 201-day reign. This will be his 3rd defense of his title since then. A match for the ROH Television Championship was then announced, with champion Samoa Joe putting his belt on the line against the person with the longest reign in the title's history, Jay Lethal. The two men's rivalry would begin when Joe made his ROH return at Supercard of Honor earlier this year, with them continuing their feud on AEW television since then. Joe would win the title on an April episode of AEW Dynamite where he beat Minoru Suzuki, with him making just 1 defense since. Then later on Dynamite last night, ROH Tag Team Champions FTR would cut a backstage promo where they addressed their position on the Death Before Dishonor card. They would then call their match at April's Supercard of Honor event against the Briscoes the toughest match they've ever had. At the show, FTR would defeat the brothers to win the ROH tag titles. FTR would then surprisingly call for a rematch with FTR versus the Briscoes 2, now set for later this month. The reason I say surprising is because it was believed that Mark and Jay had no future in Ring of Honor, with Warner Media said to have wanted nothing to do with them. This is due to homophobic remarks made by Jay Briscoe in 2013. It's known that AEW and ROH president Tony Khan has been working with Warner Media on bringing the Ring of Honor pay-per-views back, and it appears they may have had a change of heart. The Briscoes have most recently been working with Impact Wrestling, although they dropped their Impact tag titles to the Good Brothers at Slammiversary last month, with them perhaps now back in Ring of Honor moving forward. Next up, let's find out who left AEW Dynamite as the interim AEW World Champion. Last night's episode would see the interim AEW World title on the line for the first time since Jon Moxley defeated Hiroshi Tanahashi at the Forbidden Door event last weekend. He would find himself across the ring from the House of Black's Brody King, who won the first ever Royal Rampage Battle Royal last Friday. After a hard-hitting main event, Mox would manage to neutralize the monster with a bulldog choke, with the referee calling for the match after King passed out. As it stands, Moxley is in line to face the official AEW World Champion CM Punk at some point in the future, with the straight-edge superstar currently out of action due to a lower leg injury sustained just days after his title win at AEW Double or Nothing on March 29th. With that said, more title defenses of the interim belt are expected over the coming weeks and months depending on how long Punk is out of action, with the picture perhaps looking different by the time he eventually returns. Next up, Will Ospreay claims he will end Kenny Omega. Over recent months, there's been a war of words between New Japan Pro Wrestling's Will Ospreay and All Elite Wrestling's Kenny Omega, with the two former world champions seemingly not seeing eye to eye. It was back in early 2019, right before Omega would leave Japan to become All Elite, that he told Ospreay to carry the company forward. However, things have now soured. Speaking on the Wrestle In podcast this week, Ospreay would discuss where he feels the issues started between the two men, citing rumors that Omega blocked him from walking through the Forbidden Door last year, and he would say, "He wanted to bury me and he couldn't." This comes from a long line of things. Even speaking of AEW, it is only because I hang around with the boys after and we're all smoking and talking. Apparently, the rumor was that I was meant to be there a year ago, just doing Forbidden Door stuff, and somebody is putting the block on it. One person who has not been there for a while, and all of a sudden, I'm welcome in with open arms. Ospreay would then go on to reference a concussion that he caused to Omega's former tag team partner Kota Ibushi at Wrestle Kingdom 13, which led to him being stretchered out. This was the night of Kenny's last New Japan match, and a show he main evented against Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Ospreay would add, "This whole thing is generated from back in 2019. It was Kenny's last match, and I guess he wanted Ibushi out there to second him. I blew Ibushi's brain out with a hidden blade. He's super mad at me. The thing is, I'm mad at myself when those situations happen. I don't want to brain somebody, but it's a legal wrestling move. I'm allowed to do it. I'm allowed to do blows to the back of the head, 12 6 elbows down. This is 9 3 elbows down, and I'm allowed to do it. Obviously, the repercussion is he got knocked out and it was a bad concussion. Since then, myself and Ibushi, we have gone out for drinks. We don't talk anymore, but after that point, we went for drinks and meals. We're fine, but Kenny is butthurt off an accident." Ospreay then sent a message directly to Kenny Omega, and he said, "Just know when you talk, it does get back to me. Be aware that there are people in your workplace that are talking about you as well." It's likely that Ospreay is working a shoot angle with this interview, hopefully as part of a build to an eventual matchup between the two men at some point in the future, once Omega has been cleared. But what do you make of Will Ospreay's comments towards Kenny Omega? Let me know in the comments down below. Next up, Jeff Hardy's arrest was referenced on AEW Dynamite last night. On the show, Christian Cage would head to the ring alongside his muscle Luchasaurus following their recent betrayal of the absent Jungle Boy. The duo would then be confronted by Matt Hardy, whose brother Jeff Hardy is on hiatus following an arrest on charges of a third DUI in 10 years, as well as driving with a suspended license. Christian would quickly get real and personal in response to Matt's defense of Jungle Boy, calling Hardy deluded, but in his own unique way, and he would say, "You're starting to make your brother sound like the sober one." Cage would then call out Matt for his ego, calling him a clout chaser, accusing him of doing the same with his brother over recent months, and Christian would add, "Hey, you'll use anybody around you. You'll use your kids, you'll use your wife, your father-in-law, your dog Sparky, your Aunt Ginny, your frickin' boat, hell, a lawnmower. You'll even turn a blind eye to your brother and his issues just so you can ride his coattails for one last run. And now you're out here under the guise that you care about Jungle Boy and his family, when the fact is you realize that I'm the hottest, most influential star in AEW and you just wanted to be near me. And that, Matt, that is embarrassing, but here's the thing. Your screw-up loser brother isn't even the most embarrassing thing to your family, you are." The controversial comments follow a series of jabs from Christian to Jungle Boy, taunting the youngster over his now deceased father, Luke Perry. It seems that the new Christian Cage isn't afraid to cross the line to get heat following his recent heel turn, with him now referring to Jeff Hardy's latest issues, the first time the situation has been mentioned directly on AEW television. But what do you make of Christian Cage's current heel run, and has he gone too far? Let me know in the comments down below. And finally, a new champion has been crowned in All Elite Wrestling. Let's end with AEW Dynamite's first match of the night, where AEW TNT champion Scorpio Sky would put his title on the line against the dominant Wardlow in a street fight. This is the second time that the two men have met for the TNT title this year, with Wardlow earning a shot against the champion after winning the Face of the Revolution ladder match in March. However, Wardlow would lose after interference from MJF, with Sky rolling him up for the 1-2-3. Going back to last night, however, despite despite interference once again, this time from Sky's American Top Team friends, Wardlow would overcome the challenge to win his first ever championship in AEW, putting Scorpio away with a powerbomb symphony. This brings an end to Scorpio Sky's 70-day reign with the belt, which was his second run as TNT champion. The win follows a highly successful babyface turn for the big man, who turned on his former boss MJF before earning his way out of his storyline contract by defeating him at Double or Nothing in May, before officially becoming All Elite. It's expected that Wardlow will hold the title for months to come, with this seemingly a way to keep him out of the world title picture whilst an interim champion is still in place. And before you go, make sure you check out the 12 most obscure WWE appearances from AEW wrestlers.